The crazy story of the huge revolution in Yu-Gi-Oh! Long ago, there lived a tyrannical king that would do anything in his power to keep his control over the citizens of his kingdom. He would end up ordering some pretty messed up stuff in order to accomplish this, such as the building of the Imperial Iron Wall, a giant wall that surrounded his kingdom and kept him safe. He would also hire assassins to take care of political opponents, before destroying the contracts he made with them in order to not get caught. He would use physical threats to force political opponents to sign in his laws. Easily the worst thing the king did was his treatment of the citizens of his kingdom, like issuing prohibition and absolutely ruthlessly taxing them, especially with the toll charge to enter and exit the Iron Wall, which only got more and more expensive as time went on. And if you couldn't pay your taxes to this king, he would send soldiers to just take your stuff. And as if it couldn't get any worse, the king's younger brother, known as the Tyrant, might have been even worse than him. This guy was always throwing temper tantrums, eating all the food, berating soldiers. Like, a lot. Even the ones that put their life on the line for him, he would just get so mad at them. He would also just straight up attack people sometimes with no worry of repercussion because he's the king's brother. And you may also notice he never wears a shirt, but that's actually not true. He wears an invisible magical robe that protects him from attacks. But anyway, with all this going on, the people of this kingdom were extremely oppressed. And it only got worse and worse over time, and something needed to change. And change it did as the citizens of the kingdom began to slowly form a united resistance, eventually forming into a revolutionary army that was actually pretty powerful. And under their general, they launched an attack on the Imperial Iron Wall. But their first attempt would actually fail. And as a lot of the revolutionaries were rounded up, the tyrannical king sipped his tea laughing at them. But he wouldn't be laughing long thanks to the unlikely heroes of the exiled force. You see, the exiled force was a group of former thieves who only had to become thieves in a kingdom where pretty much nobody had any money. They had to steal to survive, which would end up landing them in royal prison, where they were eventually exiled from the kingdom altogether. But there is still honor among thieves, so despite being exiled from the kingdom, when they needed their help, the exile force stepped up, and they had a great plan. They realized that to get to the king, they would have to take down the Imperial Iron Wall itself. It seemed like something that just couldn't be done until they formed the Throwstone unit. And setting up their catapults right outside the castle walls, they launched their attack, bombarding the wall with giant rocks that were actually able to take it down. And with the wall taken down, it was over from there. They were able to attack the royal family directly and get them to surrender, freeing a ton of imprisoned citizens in the process. But probably the most satisfying thing about this entire story is what happened to the Tyrant. See, as the revolution happened, the Tyrant was actually able to escape to a nearby kingdom where he thought they would help him. But they didn't at all. With the Tyrant now living in the kingdom he once ruled over, constantly being accosted by the citizens for good reason.